Hola, ¿cómo están? How are you? So I don't know what's happening, but I just found like old photos of just projects I designed. And this one is a very old one, more than 10 years. Yes. But it was a great opportunity because every project I do, the more I realize of what I do is like so cool. This one was they were newlywed. She's basically a hippie yogi, and he's more like in tech. And so they had this apartment, which was a gift, and but they needed to adapt it to who they were. So I came in. By the way, this design doesn't exist anymore. Um, but I came in, and you'll see like the difference. Okay, I have a quote. I think there's beauty in everything. What normal people would perceive as ugly, I can usually see something beauty in it, something of beauty in it, by Alexander McQueen. Now he was very extremist, but he was a revolutionary. And sometimes people say, "Oh, every time you come into a house or a room, do you always want to redesign it?" No. I need to be invited. I feel like invitation brings a purpose, an intention behind everything we do. But I usually always find something beautiful in each space I enter. There's always something of value, something that tells me who the person is. And so, let's go. Okay, this is what the space used to look like. They had a lot of yellow. Maybe it worked for the beginning of their relationship, but I came in and changed that. They had this like uh, thing on their wall, technique, and yeah, this guy, so cool. He's like one of my favorite. He's not a handyman, but he like a great painter. Yes, wall painter. Just amazing. But he also helped me with other stuff because he's so nice. Like, can we move now that you're here? Can we start moving things around and see how it works and things that we can do? Okay, after I understood the space, after I saw it, I decided to do a few things. And one of them, I don't know if you're going to realize based on this 3D that I did. One thing was bringing the, like, I love bringing like dark and lightness into a room. And because there's like room to breathe, but also brings a room to bring clarity, and coziness. That's the word. Like, coziness. And this space is very big and tall, so bringing like a few of darker elements into it, I don't know, it brings something unique. And now that I think about it, I think a lot about the yin and yang, the balances, the dark and the light. And this space also brings has a lot of light in. It's very near to the park, and it's one of the biggest parks in the city. They have a view to it, and they also have an amazing view to like the moon, the sun, and darkness to light, sunset, sunrise. And it's just a very nice space. The idea is like to bring a little bit of like the traditional with the modern, and also trying for them to save money by keeping what they have but adding elements of like cool touches into it, like cool colors. And then you have like the tech, very formal, very maybe more dark. And then you have like the yogi, which is like lighter colors, but also like with pop of colors, and balancing both of that. And so, yeah, what happens if we do this? Like, have a bar area, the dining, the more formal, and then the TV and studio here. Because also their family was growing as well. So I think the studio, they had it in one of the bedrooms, and that space was going to become the kids. I forgot about that part. such a long time ago. This wallpaper from the famous interior designer Wessler. Kate Wessler. Gotta go believe I forgot her name. But I didn't know that was her wallpaper. I just thought that was like something to bring into the room. It's like a little bit of chaos, but not. Okay, so I thought about the red elements, like the fire, to bring it in here, and then a little bit of chaos, but we did go with, the muted, more like essential, because that would look very Asian, even though she did have an Asian name, but she's not Asian. So yeah, just playing around with colors and what they needed. And what happens, I took the paintings home and just did something from like the traditional, paintings, to just like repurposing it and giving it a new life. Like sometimes we really don't need to buy new things. We just need to make it modern and add some elements. And when I say modern, it's not like modern of today, but more of like, again, like personality, just bringing the person's personality. And so again, we have like this tech and then this yogi. How do we combine both? We use the traditional elements with some fun, and that was the whole theme of this. And then based on these like colors, I brought in, more of like different textures, different colors, different fabrics, and just bringing them all together in a very juicy way. And so this is just the process but from here, something happens. We knocked a wall halfway through. Sometimes we have to bring distraction and like, because sometimes like I brought that idea and they're like, no, that's impossible. How can you bring this to us? And then it's like, they're like, once they see the space being transformed, sometimes people have to see things to believe and know that that's the right path. And this is what I was going to tell you, like the little surprise. Like here, I just knocked the whole wall and I brought it to them. And, I showed them the color scheme even before we went and picked the fabric, even before we went and picked up the wallpaper. Like all these things were there. And I wasn't like completely researching everything, but I already had, that feeling of what it should look like. We knocked the wall. Then we had to bring in, a flooring guy. It was amazing. Floor guy, he worked on The Office. It's in my Instagram. He was so good. Well, he also worked on several of my projects, but then the final results. Here it is. Some privacy, some transparency, lot more light. We just repurposed what was here. I painted this with the client. We painted the same. Basically, we didn't buy any furniture. We just used what they had. I think it was a big investment, knocking the wall. And then look, the floor, just, you can't even tell that there was a wall there. It feels like it always belonged. Very bold, very traditional furniture, but trying to add something fun to it. We upholstered all the seatings. We added some red elements, like to the chairs, to the dining table. Here to this area, we added like an art kind of piece, and it had red strings. This was my favorite chair. I loved it. I love this wall. This is the final results. Using seriously everything they had, just adding colors, knocking a wall, and repurposing their furniture. And then voila, a friend of mine took these photos. He was in high school, I think, when he took these photos, but now he's He's working with directors, making movies, and I forgot about these photos until I found them. Schedule a discovery session with me, and let's see what your space and what your life is calling forward. In what transition in your life are you, and how can your space help you accomplish this? I'm here for you. Thank you very much. Adios.